Welcome. For those of you watching, yeah, if you're not a recurring viewer, what sort of philosophers do you feel resonate with you? Are you familiar with Osho? Is this a philosophical domain that you really find you've really enjoyed exploring? Shay again. Time to sin. Yo, what's good? Raining Blood. Honestly, I kind of know that song, but I'm not looking to get copyright infringed. No, thank you. I appreciate the look in that. The interest in that. Thank you, brother. That's high praise. That's high praise. Oh, getting a spam call. Let's decline that respectfully. Yo, what's good? Yeah, no, I put actually the link, the Etsy to the hat maker inside on my YouTube under posts. Excuse me, under posts, yeah. I need to get some more water. Again, I'll never get tired of the almost like the small percentage of people that are polarized or triggered from a hat. They're just like, it's like I get it, dog. You can't rock a hat. You're probably not a musician. You probably suppress, you know, the way you dress, probably the way you speak. You suppressed yourself. I get it, brothers and sisters. We live in a profoundly suppressed society. I get it. So thank you for sharing, the homie Matt E35. But you know, suppress yourself, bro, or don't suppress yourself. Express yourself, dog. Trust me. You don't gotta wear hats. You just gotta, you know, express your truth. Be authentic, dog. Be authentic with yourself. If you're authentic is, you know, wearing the same shit that everyone wears and trying to box yourself and make yourself, you know, feel and appear small and filtering yourself, then that sucks, bro. Yeah. I'm having fun with this. Tool is a good band. Tool is a good band. Yeah, I think that's a universal truth, brother. Not someone I listen to or really like is an influence of mine, but I love Tool. Tool's great. I'll never get over this sound. I mean, on this channel, we like to be meditative. We like to switch up the domains. You know, music is an experience that exists on many parallels. On many parallels. How do we do that? Let's flip that. Hope you guys are having a great day. Mathematic metal. Yeah, hey? Yeah, I mean, hey, we all have different phases in our journey. We're all trying to figure out ourselves. Willy Wonka, high praise, high praise. Are you here again? Is that a song, I assume? Again, like, I'm not gonna assume everyone is on the same phase or is, you know, dealing with whatever, but yeah, it's like, it surprises me. It baffles me to this day. Like, I get it. When I was 11, 12 years old, I suppressed the fuck out of myself. Like, stylistically, I didn't want to stick out. I didn't want to express my authentic truth, be with my words, the thing I wear or whatever. So, you know, I get it. Some people are trying to figure that out still, right? They're trying to make themselves, you know, box themselves to make themselves appear whatever the way they are. And, you know, that's their prerogative, I suppose. You know, that's their journey. It is what it is. Hope you guys are having an awesome day so far, yeah. Yeah, Tool rocks. I mean, it's one of the things, you know, on this channel, naturally, I'm not a cover artist. I really haven't focused heavily covers for like 9-10 years. That may change, you know, when I'm kind of discovering and creating other types of music here. But also, you know, it's the nature of this channel. I'm a streamer. I don't want to get copyright infringements. I don't think anybody does. So, yeah, people are throwing out requests to be like, yo, play this song, or I really want to hear this. It's like, yeah, but I could rock out some song cover, but then I could also just not get copyright stricken. Not dedicate my channel to some shit like that. Plus, I just love the nature of improvisation. Like, you know, if you're new to this channel, welcome to this channel. But I teach guitar, I teach, you know, dimensions of improv, harmonics, tapping, all that kind of cool stuff. But I also really strongly believe in like the ability to improvise, you know, to create music in the moment, to intuitively channel sounds and dynamics. And yeah, that's kind of a huge part of what I do here. I'm a butter eating, salt eating vegan, and I challenge the creator. Nice. Okay. If you're a butter eating vegan, well, you're not a vegan if you're eating butter, but you know, whatever. Do what you feel, bro. Do what feels good to your body. You know, we're not here to judge people's diets. Let's see, let's plug this baby in now. All the chords, man. Let's tune in by starting to introduce a little bit of Osho. Interesting. Love should be like breathing. Love should be like breathing. The basic fallacy that you are I need to get some water, actually. I'm just choking on water. The basic fallacy that you're carrying within you is that you always loved somebody. This is one of the most significant things about all human beings. Their love is always for somebody. It is addressed, and in the moment you address your love, you destroy it. So the moment that you address your love, you destroy it. It is as if you were saying, I will breathe only for you, and when you are not there, then how can I breathe? Love should be like breathing. It should be a quality in you, wherever you are, with whomever you are. Even if you are alone, love goes overflowing from you. It's not a question of being in love with someone. It is a question of being love. Osho. Gain, DI, yes. For those of you that are musicians, for one, I commend you. Now, shout out guitarists, shout out musicians. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're finding yourself creatively inspired. But if you're learning improvisation, you have any questions about learning improv, any sort of dimensions where maybe you're creatively blocked or you're trying to access certain parts of learning improv, I'd be really happy to speak about that, speak on that, right? I'm going to try some DMT for the first time around. If you're serious, I hope you have a beautiful trip, brother. Like, seriously, I'm blessing you, brother. I'm sending you good energy. And people say that all the time, like, send you good energy. But if you're doing DMT, like I am, like, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you on that plunge into the portal. So thank you for sharing. Another American who's smarter than the radio. Whoa, damn. That's some bold stuff, bro. Thank you for sharing that. I'm not American. I'm Canadian. But I'll be honest, most of us are probably smarter than the radio. Like, if you go on the radio, no salt at the radio, perhaps, or, yeah, not to throw salt, but radio is, yeah, it's not the move. I think a lot of us, you could just, throw a rock in any direction, you'll find something more insightful and perceptive than the radio. And not to, again, take away from the radio, but, yeah. I'm waiting for a cable to ship so I can stream with my better camera. Words, you're gonna stream on a camera. How does that work? You're connecting your computer or connecting like some sort of device to a DSLR and then you're streaming on that? I mean, if that's what's happening, that's some next level shit. That's awesome. X-Cat, give me some. I mean, Marcel, oh yeah, you're in Hungary, aren't you? I mean, DMT is like easy to get. Like, freebase DMT is everywhere. What is it like? What is DMT like? I'm gonna grab some water, and I would be happy to oblige. I'd be happy to answer that question. I'm gonna quickly grab some water though. I feel like I need water to dive deep in this. Ooh. I feel like since getting this new guitar, I need to open up space in my studio, make it so there's more room to breathe. But shout out water. Remember to stay hydrated. Friends. But yes, to the homie asking about what DMT is like. Well, I've never done freebase DMT. I've only done Changa, truthfully. And if you've been on the stream before, I go on some deep dives, kind of just not even exploring or talking openly about Changa per se, but speaking about altered states, and if I were to try to be really, really forthcoming, very transparent with what I feel Changa, that is the type of DMT that is more mixed with an MAOI. I would say very simply that, in my experience, it helps you connect with a felt experience that is very different from what you quintessentially experience. So, I couldn't successfully describe to you exactly what this is. You have to experience this yourself, like the sensation, the taste of the plant compound, the way that it almost like transcends your sensory experience and becomes like blended into one. That's the initial thing that I could recall trying to express, is the taste of the compound as you burn the plant matter and you inhale it, right? It almost like becomes like a felt experience where, the taste, the feeling, the wave of like this experience all blends into one sensation, I could say. But innately, what I like to what I often take away when understanding what Changa DMT is like is, it's almost like it's not a very psychological, intellectualized thing, very naturally. It's a felt experience. It's almost like you can return from the experience, maybe you'll experience a visual shift, you'll see visual realms, you will, surrender into this very beautiful, like, multisensory experience. But when you return, that's the most prominent feeling that I think is very interesting to understand, is you feel like your your felt experience, that is your nervous system, the way you perceive the things around you, your desires, your dopaminergic system, because obviously there's a serotogenic shift, Changa DMT, it awakens a certain type of serotonin, right? Your mind sees the world slightly differently. You feel into the world slightly differently. I'd almost, if I want to make this very simple, the way I like to describe it is almost like when you're exiting this, Changa experience on a very light dose, mind you. It's almost like you immediately, your mind gets to, for a short period of time, feel into an experience that which is beyond the lower vibrational experience, if that makes sense, right? Your sensory experience is being open to something that which is beyond the lower vibrational experience, which is beyond just being locked and trapped in the lower vibrational experience, that is in the lower chakras, right? Which maybe you could associate with survival, with fear, with lust, with XYZ negative emotions. It's almost like you get an immediate blip into something that sees a little bit beyond that, and you feel it. It's not like a mental experience. Your mind kind of just exits that subjectively, and often what this looks like is very simple. It requests you to, okay, let's dim the lights, let's sit in darkness, let's sit in meditation, let's move our body and maybe dance or sing or express yourself. That's my immediate reaction. It's like your mind almost has a different felt experience that is in your nervous system, that is in your psyche, that is beyond the dense lower vibrational experience that you commonly experience. This is immediately what I notice Changa or DMT does. Now, freebase, as people report, I've never done freebase. Freebase is more so apparently a very visual, very immediate, almost like a masculine experience where it thrusts you into a different realm, but I've never actually done freebase, and I don't really desire to. Hopefully that makes sense, though, to, I think it was Cat, CC Cat. Yeah, if you actually are embarking on that experience, like, I bless. Like, I feel like I commend you, my man. Remember, you have nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear in this world. If you're sitting with this experience, you're entering this altered state, you have nothing to fear, brother. Like, you are safe, you are here, and trust this experience. Trust your ability to be in this 3D. Yeah. Let's drop ourselves to drop B. Let's do this. Because we can. That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. Drop B. Yes, sir. lower the contrast a little bit there. So of the speakers, you can connect a nice camera to a phone. You can turn up the amp, please. It's actually, you can connect a nice camera to a phone. The amplifier, actually, I can turn it up a little bit, but this is my computer speakers, unfortunately. I need to get new computer speakers, because they're just, these ones are not great. Excuse me. I think what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of this baby. I don't know why. This is something I've been taking. It's oil of oregano. If you guys are familiar, just pure oil of oregano. Spicy. Oil of oregano. You know, lesser known fact about oil of oregano, it actually stimulates dopamine. You know, it's very good for the respiratory tract. Very good. Immune system, respiratory tract. It's good for the entire sort of respiratory passageway. But it also activates dopamine, strangely enough. Yum. Of course, it's very strong, but DMT I've never tried, but I'm dying to try it. Yeah? That's fair, Marcel. Seeing the way that you've, shown up, I think you would fare well. You would probably fare well with, you would probably hold space for DMT pretty well. That being said, though, I would say respect the sacred timing of when DMT enters your experience. Do not try to rush the experience. Don't try to force the experience. Honor your body. Honor the way DMT enters your experience, because DMT as a whole, and again, I'm speaking about Changa, not freebase. I truly feel it's more important to actually honor the timing of when it enters your reality. It's not necessarily about just doing it, like the urgency, let's go, let's do it. No. It's about honoring the when, how it enters your reality, how it synchronizes with what your reality is. That is where the significant experience will occur. And that's also, truly enough, that's actually synonymous with the way of integrating it, which is also extremely important. Doing DMT or not, it's not necessarily the question. It's about how you're receptive to the way it enters your reality and how you're integrating it. If you can honor those parts of it and that is aligned, then you're going to be in a good place. You're going to connect to the computer because I'm using the HDMI. Ah, good to know. Good to know. Valuable things. Very valuable things. HDMI, 4K. So this thing, I can do my phone actually, in this Google Pixel phone, I can do 4K. I can do 4K streaming, but I don't know. Do you guys think doing streaming in 4K, like seeing me in 4K, is really that, is that different? I mean, maybe. The only reason I could see doing 4K, having any sort of, being fruitful at all is pretty much if I want to create content out of these streams, which I could do, which I probably will do. Speakers, please, thank you. I'll see if I can turn it up, dog. I'm trying to keep it minimal because I don't want to clip out, but I can surely turn it up. I got you, brother. I got you. Well, I'll maximize this audio experience. The thing with maximizing my audio experience is it also requires a lot of mastering. That is, I'm using Ableton, right? I'm going right through my audio interface. So the key is to have a balanced sound, which is kind of tricky because I've been mastering my audio for my electric guitar. Like I've actually been preparing it, to have studio quality sound on my electric guitar. What shit are you doing? I think you know, Suman. I think you know, Soman. You can see right now, this is exactly what's going on. You're here front and center, my dog. Yeah, I don't know. You guys probably maybe can or cannot hear the difference, but I can hear it distinctly. I can hear the difference between the audio when it's like mastered properly versus if it's gonna clip or kind of go, a little bit beyond, which I don't want. I would rather have a volume that's below the threshold than one that's like clipping and creating, audio distortions or clipping, as you would call it. It's fun though. You know, I find there's like certain dimensions of music I like to play. You know, namely for this, a lot of my intention in this channel is to create like a very chill, meditative space. But of course, I got an Ibanez guitar 2 days ago, and I've been really attracted to just rocking out, like just shredding and playing music that is not very meditative in the nature of it. It's kind of the opposite. But I'm really feeling it. What kind of hat is this? This is a top hat, brother. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for the interest, bro. I will. I'm absolutely in it. Let's flip this over. So this is my setup from this. Let's do a switch. Let's keep this baby. Yeah, this is definitely the key of what I've been, trying to figure is mastering my studio setup. So that is being able to appropriately have the sound. Let's zoom out a bit for you guys. So I can do my audio on my electric guitar and my acoustic guitar in a harmonized way. That's not right. That's not right. Oh, yes. I just hit it from a vape or pen thing. Ah. Well, I would say that's a common way a lot of people like to explore DMT, but I don't think that's the wisest way. It's a quintessential thing is DMT is easy to inappropriately smoke. That is, it's almost like it has a very low burning point, and it's very difficult to effectively smoke through a vaporizer like that. You can probably do it, but it's a common world of thought. The best thing to smoke DMT out of is a bubbler. It's a bubbler. So you have water burning with it, so you can create the smoke like a large bubbler. I wish you luck though, brother. You got this. You got this, my friend. I would say probably put down your phone if you're gonna do this DMT, and just like sit with yourself. Really just breathe deeply, brother. Let's try something. Yeah, the sound seems a little bit off here. The beauty of mastering audio. So weird. Yeah, it seems like my audio I gotta spend a hot minute to kind of master this audio effectively. And that's probably because my speakers I need to upgrade actually. And I definitely going to do that in the next couple days, but I'm going to flip back to my acoustic and probably take some time to master the audio on this Ibanez. Let's do that quickly. It takes a very patient process to get to that. That's what we love here. This is my shebang. Can do whatever I want. I think it sounds pretty good. No, but don't do that. Yeah. Just stop smoking. Interesting. You sure like to pass on that unsolicited advice, my man. I chewed tobacco for dopamine release. Okay. I don't know if that's the move, bro, but honestly, no shame here. You know, be responsible, but chew dopamine or chew tobacco, don't chew tobacco. I honestly think, bro, it's more about understanding how to integrate natural dopamine alongside. Like, if you choose to use tobacco, that's your prerogative. But I think it's more important to understand how to integrate integrate dopamine as a whole. It's almost like you could abuse or not abuse, something like, say, tobacco, depending on your relationship with dopamine as a whole. So basically, if you want your experience of, say, chewing tobacco to go further, you need to learn how to modulate, as Andrew Huberman would say, your dopamine receptors. You need to learn how to really make the experience go further by understanding how to optimize your dopamine experience as a whole. Because you realize dopamine isn't about just getting more dopamine. You don't want to just increase eating more tobacco or, maybe training more of this. I mean, training is obviously an infinite parallel, but the key is never to have more dopamine. It's actually more so, because that's not how dopamine works. It's actually more so learning how to utilize the surplus of dopamine that you have, how to expand your surplus, how to receive more from your dopaminergic experience. Like, it's really, yeah. I think many people on an unconscious level, they kind of like don't connect those dots. Like, they think it's like, to some degree, it's like you need more. You need to, you need to get that next burst of dopamine. You need to scroll more phone stuff or social media stuff, where it's like they kind of fail to realize there's a very important element of dopamine that's more so about awareness. 7OH is nice too. Interesting. Natalie Reynold. 7OH. That sounds familiar. 7OH. I'm very curious what you mean by that again. Oh, let's fast. Oh, Andrew Huberman's dropping knowledge bombs on my computer screen. Love should be like breathing. Yes, sir. Man, I'm behind on the comments. We'll catch up in a second. 7OH. I'm behind on the comments. We'll catch up in a second. Look at this, looping that. But yeah. Yeah, it sounds familiar. 7OH. 7OH. That sounds almost like a research chemical, like, TCB or something. My only fear is that I don't get high because of the low dose. I mean, that's not really something to be feared, to be perfectly honest, Marcel. DMT is not like shrooms or LSD, where it's like you dose low and suddenly, oh no, you have a subpar experience. No, you should be aiming for a lesser experience. It's better to undershoot the dosages. You do not want to overshoot a DMT dose and be like, whoa, that was way too much. That was not the experience I desired or could handle. It is way smarter to develop a steady and progressive relationship with something like DMT, if you even desire to go into that. Again, I don't advocate even using DMT. I think it's more so if it calls you, if it aligns with your path in such an organic way. Like, let me make this really clear, because this is actually an ancient perspective of how I used to hold space for psychedelics. Is I don't think people should be using psychedelics very frequently. I really don't. I think it's more like this is how I used to treat shrooms when I was younger. It's like, if you get the inclination to be like, you know what, I want to integrate magic mushrooms. You introduce all these healthy practices. You align your week. Really honor your experience and align it like you're going to do a psychedelic experience, like mushrooms, right? And what if you take that momentum that you've built, all that intention that you're infusing with the psychedelic experience, and then you allow yourself to wait till the next week? What if you tell yourself, I'm going to prolong this experience. I'm going to stretch out this experience, infuse even more intention. infuse an even further intention. Like, all right, well, I was going to do this psychedelic experience. Hey, well, what happens if you wait a week? What happens if you wait another week? What happens if you just stretch out this experience intentionally to crystallize your intention, to reflect, to really make this a powerful, aligned experience? Because again, I think DMT is very synonymous with this. It's not about the experience itself. It's about how much intention you bring, how deeply you are listening to the variables and the parallels around you in your life. Because this is the key thing. This is the same thing that you will find. It's synonymous with many things, especially altered states or things outside of the material. How deeply can you listen? How deeply can you listen to the experience around you? How deeply can you listen in? Truly, like how deeply can you listen into the symbols, the symbology of the universe around you, all the subtle signs and symbols the universe is giving? How deeply can you listen? If you can look at the things around you, the things that are synchronizing on your path, and you can see very clearly, like, wow, this is actually bizarre the way these things are aligning my path to this experience. If you can see and pull those threads to the way that these things are guiding your path to some specific thing, that is what you want to find. That's what you want to seek out. That's what you want to align yourself with. It's alignment with, say, something like an altered state like DMT. You don't want to just do it haphazardly, and maybe every part of you is resisting, all the things around you are malaligned, and you think to some degree you're like, but let's just do it anyways. You could, sure. We have free will, but I'm inviting you to see that what does it mean to actually like lean into the means of looking at the way the universe is giving you symbols, it's giving you messages, it's giving you signs, which in many rights, maybe this is not something you're attuned to already. Maybe it's you're not one that understands what it looks like to see, the messages and the symbology that's around you, and that's okay. That's actually what a lot of us are programmed out of seeing. Is we have lost that like ancient way of listening. We've lost the ancient art of listening, literally being like, wait a second, if there's something, if there's a person, if there's a word, if there is a, maybe like a bird flying across your path, if we're going to get metaphorical or poetic about it, right? Everything is trying to give you a message. It's a messenger. Even in some context, in many rights, if this is something that aligns to your path, if whatever I'm doing here, if I'm playing guitar, if I'm saying some words, right? You can see the deep symbology within this, the symbolism. You can see it if you really learn to listen and look. And again, what I'm saying very simply is if you're going to engage in an altered state like psychedelics, right, or especially DMT, the most powerful psychedelic, I highly invite you to listen deeply to the way that it is aligning on your path. This is surely what will allow you to really just experience the most aligned and the most beautiful experience. If you're listening in deeply, if you're seeing all the symbols align, if you're seeing the universe giving you this very direct and clear message that this is your time to experience this medicine. This will appear in dreams, this will appear in people around you reflecting this truth, this will appear in the literature that speaks to you, this will appear in everything, right? But that's the key thing, is like if you can listen deeper, you will see things. It seems simple, but it's a thing I think a lot of people forget. And I'm kind of just, who knows, I'm maybe just a person that's trying to pass on the message. Are you that guy from Sacramento that dances all the time? Whoa. No, but that guy sounds dope as fuck. I'm not from Sacramento, but if I was, I'd be happy as fuck. But I do dance all the time, yeah. I think it sounds good do that. You need an interface. I have an interface, yeah. A couple mics, headphones. I like that. I like the way you're thinking, man. I like the way you're thinking. Name. You have a great voice. Thank you, Jitan. Thank you. And thank you, Kathy. I love this hat too. I'm happy as fuck with this hat. If you guys are ever interested, I have no affiliation with the hat maker, but I just love her. She's dope as fuck. She went above and beyond to really just create this beautiful hat. And you can't really see this as clearly, but this is a deep, rich auburn dark garnet. It kind of looks like, maybe like almost like dark brown, but if you look really closely, you can only really see with the naked eye. This is deep, rich garnet auburn. It's like a rich color. It looks very beautiful. It's also distressed. But yeah, if you're interested at all, you know, just for the sake of passing on business to this wonderful, beautiful soul, on my YouTube, if you follow my channel under posts, nice, we just hit 1.3K subscribers. Let's go. But yeah, if you go under posts, I actually posted her Etsy. Yeah, she's dope. It's like shine like stars. Hey, Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon. I have no idea how to perform Sailor Moon, brother. I hate to break it to you. That's not in my wheelhouse. I don't want to get copyright infringed too. No, thank you. No, thanks. No, thanks. Man, yeah. Let's see. So I watched you go from a piano into another place with your phone. Nice, nice, nice. I'll be back and maybe you'll have to. Maybe help you. And maybe you help you. Nice. Sure, dog. Yeah, I often play piano. Most of these streams I love to start playing piano because I feel like piano is a very powerful, very cathartic, universally received domain. And I love it. I play lots of piano lately. Beautiful. Yeah, maybe going on the computer, this will help me keep up with my comments. This is a little easier to go through my comment section. This actually is brilliant. So homie name is saying some nice advice about audio engineering. Thank you, brother. You're right. You're not wrong, bro. I should probably do every little thing, you know, I only got this Ibanez like 2 days ago, but I'm realizing very quickly that I got to do some sound engineering type stuff to really, like, you know, make the audio refined for my audience. Because this is a music channel, of course. Let's see. So, are you Heath Ledger? Archangel asks. Yes. I'm back, bro. I'm back, baby. No. I don't. Do I sound Australian? I love Heath Ledger. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Rest in peace. Love the guy. But no, I'm not Heath. I'm not Heath. That's not me. Yeah. But thank you for the compliments. Or the comments. About the hat, Kathy, and your Gitan. I'm going through these so slowly. I'm just like... Billie Jean. Don't spam, brother. Try not to spam. I'm not a cover artist. Not a cover artist. Yep. Don't want those copyright infringement, brother. No thank you. No thank you. This hat, I think, goes for, with tax, $90. It was very, not too expensive. $90 for this kind of hat. Yeah. Yeah. Roxanne. I think, Roxanne, you're the one. Aren't you the troll that was here the other day saying some other unhinged stuff? Is that your thing, Roxanne? You pop on, you just blast some unhinged sort of stuff. So you're saying, what am I even saying? I mean, I'd say just listen in, baby. Just listen to what I'm saying. I was talking about altered states of consciousness and listening to how important it is to be intentional with your experience. Pretty simple stuff, not complex, not complex. Joe Rogan said that you've never tried DMT. Oh, that's in character, bro. Joe would say that. Well, tell Joe. Tell him that. He'll get the message. He'll know what I'm saying. Stay away from substances. Absolutely, Michael. You know, I'm not sure if you're on the same page as me. Take your own advice. Pass on the advice. I haven't done any substances. I've been sober for 11 years, brother. So I 100% agree. Say no to drugs. I mean, say yes to some drugs. But, you know, be sober. Enjoy sobriety. Honor the sober experience. Yeah. Are we listening to guitar or trip? Well, you know, I guess we'll see. Let me see about this. So we're going to master my audio a bit. Okay. A bit of DK, absolutely. Partly, yes, sir. DMT, I'm the dynamite. Okay, very nice. Never heard him play, always talking. Nice. Thanks, Ninja. Well, I hope you I hope you enjoy continuously stalking this channel with the hopes of whatever you're hoping for, brother. Yeah. Nice. Well, I think it's ready. We can readily assume, Ninja, that you're not my viewership, brother, not the target audience. So, thank you for coming back, expressing your truth, brother. I hope you can one day really clue into what's going on here. But until then, yeah, just keep it real, man. Keep expressing your truth. But yeah, we are my target audience, the people that are resonate with the vision of the channel, the words that are connected to not just the music I'm playing, but actually honor and understand the value of expressing your truth. Those are my viewership. Those are my target audience. So it's unfortunate that's not you, Ninja, but I'll send you on your way, brother. What's your attire style? It's all about something Price and a little Hendrick. Damn. Wow. Yeah, thank you, brother. My audio's still a little bit, the attack is a little bit strong. A little bit of strong attack. Yeah, nice. Hope you find truth, brother. You seem like a good guy. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, man. I like that. That's not sugarcoating it. That's not trying to stroke my ego. That's just being like, hope I find truth. I hope you find truth too, my friend. I hope, and I extend that message from Rob Rippin, to all of us. It's not about, we're not here to be like, sugarcoating reality. We're not trying to look at life with a rose-tinted glasses, being like, it's like finding truth. I think we should, as human beings, strive to seek authentic truth. We are 3D beings. I speak of this often when people sort of, sit with me and be like, hey, like life is, life has been difficult, or life has been very intense for various reasons. And I like to return to that core truth is we are 3D beings. We live in the 3D world, right? This is polarity. This is why we are here. We are here to experience the positive and the negative, the dark and the light, right? We are not here to just see one dimension of truth. We're here to just experience it all. So I hope you guys, as myself, let yourself really align with truth, with capital truth, whatever that is. That's not necessarily going to be fun, easy, happy-go-lucky. It's just reality. That being said, I'll be perfectly honest here. Full circle, I find truth aligns with authentic expression, be it the words you're saying, with the music you're playing. So I hope you, whatever you find yourself take away in this moment, when you go on through your day, I hope you find yourself just continue to integrate your expression. If you want to play guitar, if you want to pick up your guitar and really feel into that, really appreciate the expressions and the ability you have to express yourself in this world. Be it if that's singing your heart out or just engaging in an instrument, that's where I find truth. Have you ever played on a stage at all? I have, brother, yes. Various stages in various different ways. I keep seeing you with your stream. Nice. Check it out when I can. Cheers, bro. I appreciate you sharing, bro. You seem to have some interesting perspectives. Name Q5J. I'm excited to see you use that thing. Did you make it or buy it? Bro, yeah, I bought this. Picasso bow. This is actually a knockoff. I'm actually going to flip on a fan. It's getting warm. But yeah, bro, Picasso bow. Picasso. It's actually a miniature violin bow that's made for the guitar. Highly recommend. It takes a lot of rosin. Actually, yeah, 1 second. Let's do this. Oh, whoops. I'm excited to see you use that. Agree, please play for us. Absolutely, friend. This is a music channel after all. Yeah, I got you. You know, I appreciate the friends chiming in or the new viewers expressing their thoughts, about DMT, expressing their thoughts about how that's a really powerful thing, an important thing to talk about, I think, as artists. And I could talk about it all day long, but I won't, I like to digress. But I think altered states, and even if we're talking about DMT or psychedelia or just entering an altered state, right? Giving yourself permission to step outside of the sort of one-dimensional programming a lot of us are in, right? It's very important stuff. It's very important stuff. These speakers, man. The homie is asking a lot to turn up my speakers. These speakers are just cooked. I need to get new speakers. But yeah, with that, I'll be happy to play some healing sounds, Jade. Got you. How did you play on stage when you're that trash? Just let everybody on. They just let everybody on. Wow. Sounds like a horrendous projection, my man. Yeah. But thank you for revealing your character, Red Beef. Thank you for revealing, your own insecurities. So hopefully you overcome those insecurities, brother. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can, hey, bro, thank you for being here, Red Beef. Appreciate you, dog. Your comments, your commentability, you've lost that. You've lost that. You can return, you can hang about. But yeah, you've lost your commentability for 10 minutes. Because, we don't need comments sections filled with whatever that is you're doing, Red Beef. Aim these speakers a little more towards the phone. Where did you get the pan flute? I actually purchased it locally. Yeah. It's from Poland. But I bought it from a guy that had his wife gift it to him. And he didn't know how to play it. He just instantly was just like selling it on Facebook Market for a very good price. It was literally new. So he used it like twice. And for me, I've been playing pan flute for like 5-6 years at this point. So I immediately was like enamored. I was like, this is a magical, beautiful pan flute. Much like the one I actually used to have that actually unfortunately got stolen. But yeah, it's like they're very rare. Well, not rare, but they're rarely used. So it's like when you see them, they're like, most people don't understand what they have. They don't understand how valuable they are. But but they're also, again, tricky to kind of get into. That feels good. Yes, sir. Frees my soul. Why, thank you, Jade. Thank you, Jade. It frees my soul, too. Resonance, baby. Resonance. Resonance. You know, part of what I was speaking earlier with the homie about altered states, you know, listening into the subtle, very subtle signs of the universe also has to do with feeling into the subtleties of the universe. You know, the vibrational patterns, the resonance patterns, and what is present in music, in instruments and sound instruments, and everything that's actually around you that you're hearing. These are resonance patterns, right? And whether we're conscious or not, these are tuning us. Like you tune a guitar, these are tuning our bodies, you know, whether we're absorbing things that are aligning with us, that are fruitful, that are serving us, that are creating something meditative and beautiful and restful, versus, you know, absorbing something that's maybe not that way. I also just love this setup. I love these frequencies. Powerful times, though. Powerful times we're in. And for those of you that are sort of going through things, that are seeing what's going through on a larger shift, there's a lot of beautiful but intense things going on, you know, things at play. You know, for those of you in your community, those around you, a lot of humans are processing a lot. So these are very important times to show up, make intelligent decisions, you know, lead with truth, allow yourself to be a embodiment of that which it means to be here, to be present, to be harmonious, you know, to be intentional. Whatever that looks like for you, this is the truth. Those that are curious with this particular device here, this instrument, it's a Picasso bow. This is actually a knockoff you can purchase on Amazon for like 30 bucks. But the idea is, you see, if you're interested in doing this exact technique, you can. It's actually not that hard, actually. But the reality is, you got to purchase a high quality rosin, and you got to also, you know, use like some sort of sanding, you know, thing and sand the rosin effectively. That's pretty much the key things. Sand rosin, apply the rosin. And once you do that, then it comes down to some simple, basic guitar technique, and then you can suddenly turn your guitar into a violin or a cello. You know, I've been doing this for about 5-6 years now, so for me, it's like, it's pretty common. It's a pretty, you know, complementary part of my guitar playing. It takes a lot of nuance, though, at first. Let's cool. It adds a lot of dimension, you know. Suddenly, you know, if you're a guitarist, right, and you want to create an expression, it goes so far to just like to have a lot of different dynamic tricks that you can just tastefully weave into your performance, right? Trust it, trust me. Try it, trust me. Right. Definition of new technique. Hey, yeah, that's right, Smith. I try a big bow sometimes. Obviously, it doesn't work like that little one. With a big one, you can get really lush, huge chords. That's an amazing. Yeah, I would love to try that, brother. That being said, let's be real here. Lush chords or not, you have limitations. The only way you can achieve a sound is through the sound hole, right? You have to have a sound hole. You know, the only reason I can create any dimension is because I'm striking, you know, to the length of the sound hole and beyond. So a big violin bow actually may or may not. Maybe it could achieve something, but I can't actually access, you know, I could basically access up here and do like more of the same, basically. So I think a violin bow of a large type would be super dope, but I don't know if it would actually go that far because we're talking about a guitar here, right? A guitar is only meant to sort of like, yeah. Is your bowl a regular violin bow? Is your bow? It's not a regular one, but it's basically the same. It's a miniature violin bow. You know, the first prototype was from Picasso bow. You know, Pickasso, like, you know, play on words of Picasso. Now you can purchase off Picasso bow, their website, or you can go on Amazon and they have knockoff versions that are basically, you know, excluding the $30-$40 brand and shipping charges. Because I buy these like once a month. I've bought like 3 Picasso bows and I've bought like 6, maybe like 4 or 5 of these babies. And basically, because you eventually, these fray. You know, guitar bows are not meant to be, like violin bows are not meant to be played on a guitar. Like that's the reality. It's like, eventually this frays. It like destroys the horsehair. But, you know, it goes a long way if you have good technique. Not into the hole, bows the strings. Yeah. No, I know what you mean, but it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot, name. But I'm saying is like, I don't know about you, bro, but the key of using a guitar like a violin is nuance. You want to have subtlety. You know, if you're trying to go like, and hit all the strings, there's no precision. There's no nuance. If you want to play a guitar effectively like a violin and a guitar, you realize, like, even if I were to explain to you, there's a small window, a small tension point where you can achieve a violin sound effectively. There's a small window if you know, desire to try this, right? There's basically, and what's interesting is the small window, the tension point of where you can play the guitar like a violin bow. Say, for instance, here, right? I have to hit a very specific spot on a very specific angle, and it's actually very similar to the artificial pinch harmonic point. See right here, right? So right there. That's the only place where I can effectively strike this violin bow and make it actually sound like a violin. Anything else sounds like garbage. So all that considered, there may be something, if someone really takes the time to focus, you can maybe create some sort of sound, but I'll be apt to say I don't think it's going to sound nearly as good as the precision strike of a violin. Because that's where the beauty comes. It's not about hitting more strings at once. It's about precision, like a lot of stuff on guitar. Whoa. Whoops. Are you an LSD enjoyer? Absolutely, divine operator. I mean, I haven't done LSD in like a hot minute. Literally probably been like a year and a half, but when I was younger, I was definitely into it. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's wicked, dude. Well, thank you for sharing your perspective, like, wholeheartedly. I'll take it to heart. You know, I want to be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. I'm just saying I've used this particular prototype on this guitar after years of like, striving to achieve this sound. And I'm saying after these 5, 6 years, I'm saying the precision of what this way this works for a very particular reason. But hey, bro, you're 100% right. I should expand my horizons. I should experiment more and see how I can achieve a greater sound. I don't have all the answers. I'm a student to this. So thank you for sharing, dog. Yeah. What kind of violin bow, if you've come across any, what kind of violin bow would you recommend? What kind of, are there any like specific violin bows that you've seen or, you have in mind you think is a good prototype to start as a larger violin bow? Nice. I can show you some stuff. Nice. It's a cool if you jam. Cool you jam. And apply. Yeah. Thank you, dog. I'm a student of this kind of interaction, this portal. I've been streaming for 5 months, right? I've been a guitarist for about 17 years, but yeah, I'm a streamer very recently, and I've been a busker about a year, just over a year, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. I've been starting to like radically push myself way out of my comfort zone to learn to just perform in an improv, live context, and yeah, bro, you learn a lot. Like when you push yourself way out of comfort zone, I'm sure you're familiar. It's like that is like a really powerful place to learn, and not just because musically you're learning to think on the fly and refine your ability to improvise, but you're also putting yourself into the universe. You're putting yourself in random situations with random human beings, like especially in the real world, of course. Like you're in the real world, in your community, meeting random people, meeting other musicians and fans and whatever. But also, of course, on a live stream, this is the world. Like this is the whole. I can meet anyone in the world at the drop of a hat, right? And that's really wild. It's sometimes a little bit off-putting, but most cases it's powerful. It's like life-changing. I think about this a lot, and I've actually had conversations with like older fellows and musicians that are like open about this, how like this technology, right? The ability to stream, to be on a YouTube live stream and just like connect with other musicians, talk with other human beings all around the world. This is such an insanely profound, incredible technology. And even just in the simplest right, this is part of my, I'd say my core vision with this channel, my core intention with this channel is a lot of people, myself included for many years, I was greatly underutilizing this this phone, this interaction, this relationship with social media technology. Like a lot of us were programmed in such a way where we are unconsciously, maybe scrolling through social media, we are creating these like fragmented associations and loops with something that is so powerful and so profound. Like you realize, right? Like the ability to say grow a YouTube channel or a business or a community, right? To community build, to unify yourself with other human beings. This is the potential that is at your fingertips with social media, with a phone, right? And a lot of people, we've created these like disempowered, split off relationships. We've created this fragmented relationship with something that ultimately can change your entire life. Wow. Damn, thank you for sharing, Joe. I can show you some stuff as that. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I love this hat with my entire being. I find it so funny too. Like I've only had this hat for about 5 days. I love it. I wear it everywhere. When I go out everywhere, it's like majority of the time, unless I'm at the gym or something. I love rocking it, and it's interesting, especially on these streams, how there's always like the 1% that is like straight up. They have such a powerful reaction to it. They're just like triggered. Like wow, that hat is not it, or they express some strong opinion. And man, I've come to this core conclusion or not only do I not care about people's opinions, but I think it's interesting how powerfully it reveals other people's, I'd say, inability to express themselves. You know, a lot of people, these 1% that are popping in and be like, wow, XYZ about this hat is interesting. They're not saying, it doesn't say anything about me. It doesn't say anything about, you know, my 17 years as a musician and my choice of how I'd love to express myself and how powerful and life-changing I think this is. It just reveals their hand. It reveals what they, for whatever reason, have developed a relationship with in context to expressing themselves. They're basically, what I'm saying is, a lot of people, for whatever, this is the sad reality, is it seems that there's a massive majority of people that suppress themselves so heavily. And the way they dress, the way they, you know, feel comfortable to express themselves is a massive extension of that. You know, it's like they want to be small, they want to filter themselves, they want to, you know, they don't want people looking, they want to box themselves into this tiny little box. And that seems to be a weird normality that a lot of society is like reinforcing, like, and that's, yeah, I think that's insane. It's unfortunate, you know. Not everyone has to wear hats or clothing and jacket. People can do whatever they want, free will. But I think it's bizarre when a lot of people reveal how, like, damn, they're just like, they're really suppressed. Like, people are really struggling with suppressing themselves, suppressing what they want to do and say and express their truth, you know, wear what they want to wear, say, sing, or do whatever they want to do with themselves. And it's unfortunate because I get it. It's not like I'm, you know, exempt to that. I, for many years, was profoundly suppressed. You know, for when I was like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I was really suppressed. I didn't like to dress expressively. It was only in my early 20s that I actually made many breakthroughs where I fully honored and gave myself permission to express myself. That's okay. Yeah. And buy more rosin. I've got some. Buy more rosin. Yeah, I got I got this baby. I got some dark rosin, but it cracked very quickly. But yeah, dog. The hat is elegant. The hat is elegant, but it's the poise. Mmm. That's true, bro. That is true. It is, yeah, it is the poise. Like, it's the way of rocking it. Like, for me too, the hat, what I love about it, among various things, you can't really see it. You can, maybe if I go really close, right, you can kind of see there's like it's a rich dark red. It's like a very, it's a very complex color palette. It's like rich, dark garnet and auburn, and it's like acid wash. So there's like black and reds. It's a very beautiful color palette. You can't really see it over the stream. You know, maybe it looks like maybe like a reddish kind of brown, but the reality is in the real world with the naked eye, you can see it clear as day. It's like a really rich, again, like auburn, dark garnet red. Beautiful color, probably my favorite color. But yeah, it's all about hats. I think are a really beautiful expression. They're like you know, it's like the 1800s. You know, everyone wore hats. Everyone was like wearing these beautiful, like, you know, just exquisite kind of like gentleman type hats. And even in the 80s, you know, rock stars, they just love expressing themselves with trippy hats. I think it's just, long story short, I love to be a part of the movement, if you will, of bringing hats back. Like being like, hey, hats are a thing. They're super dope, you know. Let's bring hats back. I have the same hat, but it's black. That's rad, bro. Yeah, it's a top hat. It's like a classic top hat, and I like it. I give it this tilt because it has like a bent sort of yeah, what's it called? Like a brim, and I like the way it just kind of like when you do it on an angle, it actually balances the hat like it's on a straight. It's almost like it's meant to be worn. It's kind of just that meant to be worn sort of on a strange like psychedelic angle. Like it's meant to be just like on a different realm. So I have the same hats of that. Does a Shay mean around Saturn's eye? No, actually. I mean, Ashe means many different things, actually, in many different languages. But primarily, it's a sacred word that connects a lot with ancient cultures. Like it's, very sacred in Brazilian culture and ancient Yoruba African culture. They have like a deep reverence for what it means. But I'm more connecting it to like almost like ancient Swedish, ancient Brazilian, and ancient Yoruba Africa. I really love, the more I had this word flow through to me actually kind of full circle when I did Changa. The first person in the stream, they're asking about DMT. I had a Changa experience, a very powerful one, a few powerful ones, but the second time I ever did Changa, I was like meditating on this viewpoint, looking at the mountains, watching the sun drop, sitting in meditation for like an hour after I did this Changa experience. And for whatever reason, I was just enamored with everything. I was like watching the beautiful contrast of the colors and the all the vibrant sort of nature and the mountains. And then I remember just thinking, just exhaling, just being like so reverent, so happy. It was like I felt this weird feeling, which I didn't feel a lot at this time, but after doing this Changa and staring at this beautiful mountain view, I just felt reverence. Like I felt reverence for nature, for a divine energy. Like it was nothing else but other than that. It was like I could feel this deep connection to like romanticizing the divine. It was just like I didn't know why, I didn't exactly understand. It just felt like I was like, this is beautiful. Like I get it. I understand the beauty of this feeling of the divine. And then I just sighed out and said, Ashe. Ashe. It was just like a confirmation. I never used this word before. I didn't even know really what it meant, but it was just the word that flowed through. And then I later learned what the word means. It has a lot of different sacred meanings, but to the Yoruba Africans, that's a lot of the definition that I've ascribed to it. It's like an ancient power word. It's like an authoritative word. It means like I understand. It means I understand. It means I understand what you're saying. I'm affirming understanding, but it also means like it's a sacred context. It's like the energy behind sacred rituals and sacred interactions. Like it has so much depth that it's an ancient word simply. So that's kind of how I see it. I never consciously knew any of this when I chose the word, when I felt the word. And actually, you can see the reason this channel has a picture of me doing a handstand with fire props, right? That's because I'm a fire performer as well, right? I'm a acrobatic fire performer. And I originally thought, okay, maybe I'll call myself Ashe. This is my fire performer name. Like that was the original idea. So I created this channel like a while back and I posted that profile picture and I was like, okay, this will be my fire performer name and I'll maybe dedicate this channel to that. But then I realized after a couple of years that the vision was much larger. Like I wanted this word, this idea, it felt much larger. Like I wanted to be a much larger vision, and that's where this YouTube channel became. Let's see if we're in tune still. I think we're slightly out of tune. Oh yeah. But yeah, this channel's, mission, the journey, the way it's unraveling, very beautiful. Like it continuously flows. Fight the war, fuck the norm. It is so. That is so, brother. Like I speak of this very avidly. I kind of went off on a lot of tangents, with people that are maybe projecting negativity or trying to, fail to communicate. I really feel that when people come, say to a live stream, this is a very broad, one-dimensional example, but when a person comes to a live stream, right, and they're coming to an internet portal, right, a place outside of the real world, and they're expressing negativity, right, they're, saying something that's outlandish, maybe it's just a comment, who knows what it is, right? These people are actually revealing a deeper thing. They're revealing their inability to communicate their truth, and they're failing to understand they're revealing their inability to communicate their truth and act on their truth. This is the truth. Is when people, men particularly, because this is, majority men, I'm a man, I have a community that's often men and women, of course, but men, when they fail to communicate their truth and act on it, take action on that, that's a foundational purpose of masculine energy, is to take action. It's directional. It's a directional force in the universe. When men fail to communicate their truth and act on this truth, align their thoughts, their words, their actions, the byproduct of that is astoundingly horrendous. This is where a lot of the atrocities, a lot of the malalignment, a lot of the broken, fragmented models of what society is seeing is because men who are fail to communicate their truth and act from this place, fail to take action in their life, are rampart. They're, creating negative projections. It is the product of society of men who have lost connection to healthy masculine energy. And I see this parallel when there are people that are popping on a stream of all places. If you're a man that's living your truth, you're acting in the real world, you're living your highest truth, you're taking action on the things you feel are important in this world, you're speaking your truth in the real world, you're 1000% not going to be a person that's going to pop on a stream and, say some egregious, outlandish shit, right? That's just not the nature of what men who live their truth are. If you're embodying that, right? So I find it's almost like there's a deep rabbit hole of what occurs when men fail to communicate their truth and basically are disintegral with their ability to take action. It's, again, a lot of words, a lot of contextualization, but this is a core truth I sat with where I was like, wow, this sucks to see those that are openly exclaiming their inability to communicate, and from a further place, their profound lack of understanding how important it is to act. If you don't act, then you come from a negative projection. You just compulsively act out. You say negative things. You try to verbalize things outside of your understanding. And that's why we see this vast array of weird negative projections that are people from a programmed compulsive place. And it's crazy. So yeah, bro, it is, weirdly enough, speaking your authentic truth is fighting the war. It is fighting the farce on inauthentic, broken models of masculinity, which is, in the larger construct, what we're experiencing right now in every given ripple. You look at all these greater perpetuations of these very broken models. It starts here. It starts within us. It starts within ourselves and what we've created from the root up. Anyways, thank you for listening to my podcast. For in meditation he found himself, and when all was said and done, one sentence remained. Nobody crossed the gate to the garden, and for that day he lived it. Interesting. That's very interesting. For those of you that understand or resonate with that, thank you for being your friend. I think we're going to set up this piano synth board here because I'm a piano player and I love to create strings synth creations. Bless. Nice. Yo, thank you so much, Omar. I appreciate you revealing your character, brother. I appreciate you revealing your projections, showcasing your inability to communicate with a self-aware way. You're not my target audience. You're not my viewership. Thank you for sharing, brother. You're making this easy. You're making this easy, Omar. You filtered yourself out. You've revealed your hand. You don't belong on this channel. So goodbye. Yes. Just like that. The hat is perfect and elegant. Cheers, brother. Yeah, again, I rock it. I feel it. It resonates with me. I understand why this connects with what I do and what I feel. It's expression. But yeah, bro. Yeah. Men don't talk like this. Yes. Speak like a normal person from this world. Well, why would you want to do that, Phyllis? Bruv. Yeah, I love this. I love you guys, man. Like, you guys make this... Like, for those of you, like Phyllis, like Omar, you guys are repeating. You don't realize. Maybe you'll realize, hopefully, after this interaction, but you're just an unconscious program. You're on repeat, friend. You're saying the same unoriginal projections. You're projecting. This isn't even your conscious thoughts. You're just revealing your own projections. And it's okay. Like, speak your truth. I don't care. But I'm saying is you make it really easy for me to filter out who's not aligned with this community. Not everyone is for this. Not everyone desires to hear the truth. Not everyone desires to express themselves A lot of people are suppressing themselves. They're suppressing their words. They're suppressing their ability to express themselves via music, via whatever. And those that are in that category, you're going to live out and confirm your bias of your programming. That's okay. I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to shame you. That's how it is. Welcome to 2026. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the catastrophic realm of humanity they're in. That's okay. For those of you that are openly projecting these negative biases or whatever you're throwing out, thank you. You're making it easy to filter out who's not a part of this community, friend. It's not, I don't discriminate, but I'm saying is, the homies that are just like making this so easy, I appreciate you. You're not a part of the viewership. You're not a part of my audience, and that's okay. Thank you. And a version of the character from the Carbrox. Whoa, nice. His laugh. That's kind of you, bruv. Yeah. I mean, this is just my laugh. I have, for some reason, people like to comment, or like friends and people in the real world, they love to laugh. But, yeah, I mean, this is a belly laugh of a guy that doesn't give a fuck. Like, genuinely. Like, it's a good time, bro. That's great though, isn't it beautiful? Like, isn't it so magical? Oh damn. Oh no. That's a nice clip glitch out. That's my tone amp doing some crazy stuff. I wonder if that's my chord. Wow. Well, that was weird. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, again, it's almost like, to the simplest core, if I can make this very clear and simple, which I love to do and I will continue to do. None of this is on the deepest level, it's not a personal endeavor. This is a social experiment, if you will. People coming and going, flowing through it's a YouTube stream. This isn't the real world. People often don't even, it's like, I love to make this connection that a lot of people, if they're entering a live stream on a YouTube channel, or, you can do this in any little portal of YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook, the internet, whatever. When people are disconnected from the role of the human experience, if you're a human being, which you obviously are, and you go into the real world, you meet men and women, you go on places, you're connecting with the actual human experience, you understand certain fundamental things about communication, about interactions. It's almost like for those that desire to project weird, negative, one-dimensional narratives and argue for the sake of that, or maybe they're really programmed and they're just like deep in that programming, they're projecting to an egregious, embarrassing rate, right? Those are people that are revealing how disconnected they are from the human experience. People that are connected within the actual visceral felt experience, the experience you experience in the real world. For those of you that are connected to it, that understand it, that are living, they're really living their lives in that real world. They're not people that would even for a second try to be like, let's plunge into a YouTube portal and, try to almost like project or create some kind of weird fragmented view on a YouTube stream. I mean, sure, if you have argumentative beliefs, if you want to, stand behind your belief to unpackage your narratives, do so all day long. But you do so in the real world. Do so where it matters. Choose your battles. Understand the weight of your decisions and your choices. If you don't understand any of that, then you're going to do things that represent that reflect that. So basically, on the simplest right, I don't take any of these things personal. I see through people's, not to like stroke my own ego, but this is a thing. I've spent 5 months streaming for like sometimes 4 hours a day. I don't choose to do this consciously, but it's easy to see through people who don't know how to communicate or express their authentic truth. And again, this isn't a personal attack. This is just an observation. You know, I love to look at these things and see them as they are. It's like a lot of people, they don't understand how see-through they are with their actions, with the words they choose. And that's okay. Like again, it is what it is. You know, we're just a product of our choices, right? And some people just need to make better choices, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Thank you, brother. Oh, thank you, Billy. Yeah, I like the hat too, dog. Yeah, dog. I mean, I feel like I don't take it. You've shown up in a very self-aware way, name. And again, you've added some great domains to this. Like I think you are, you know, I can confidently say to some people, I'm gonna remove the rights to comment, blah blah blah. They're not a part of this community. I think you probably are a part of this community, dog. Like you seem to have, you know, self-awareness to some degree, and it's okay if you have opinions relating to music or you have perspectives, you know, value that you really feel that you want to bring to here. That's cool, brother. Like I'm not gonna, yeah, I don't desire to discredit or demerit any of what you feel you bring, even if it's coming from a place of being like, you know, really you want to share that value. Like that's a weird. I think this is a common misconception. Like you know, on the quest to become a YouTuber, right? I say this very openly, right? Um, there's like almost like a psychological, and even we could call it this a sacred quest or a philosophical quest of becoming a YouTuber. And the simple part of this is basically realizing that everyone has value. You have value. I have value. We all inherently have various dimensions of value. And what's interesting is when you're a YouTuber, right, or you desire to become a YouTuber, you're basically on this quest to unpackage your egoic perception with value. And ultimately, what you're doing is you're trying to put your value out there. You know, like, you know what? I'm a person that has inherent value that, you know, you feel you want to share, that can help people, that can really help people. And a part of the quest of specifically being a YouTuber is you actually have to go through this, like, very difficult process originally to basically learn how to find those that perceive your value. Basically, you got to find your target audience, right? You know, you're like, all right, I'm a YouTuber of XYZ, this niche. Maybe you're a musician, maybe you're this, that, the other. And you're literally going through this quest of trying to, over months and months and months, learn to find that which aligns with who perceives your value. And it's a very interesting quest because a lot of people, we live in this weird misconception where we think on some degree, we're like, oh, people don't value, oh, I don't have value, XYZ narratives, right? The reality is maybe you do have value. You probably do have value, like to given person watching this. You just have not put yourself in front of those that value you. And this goes way deeper than just being a YouTuber. This is to do with everything in the real world, right? You know, it's like that quintessential quote. If you judge a fish on its ability to walk, this fish will, you know, think it's worthless, right? It's the reality is it's important to not only understand that you inherently have value, we all do, you know, to various degrees, but realize how you can now surround yourself with people and realms of experience that perceive that value, that honor that value. So, anyways, that was a long ass tangent, but facts of the matter is, yeah, like name, like you definitely have value, dog. Like you surely have a valuable perspective, and again, I'm intimately on this quest. You know, I've been a YouTuber for about 8 months, streamer for 5 months. That's not very long, but I'm a student of YouTube. I see the deeper domain of what YouTube has to offer. And I think it's not just about me, it's about all of us kind of coming to this conclusion. You know, for those of you that ever desire to become a creator, even if it's not right away, maybe it's not on YouTube, maybe it is, you realize there's a really powerful thing that you have to unpackage that relates to connecting with a community, to unifying yourself with an audience, right? And it's a very complex but beautiful thing. Maybe not even that complex. Nice. Well, that can't be good for your crayon, but hey man, whatever makes you happy. I haven't practiced it, but I've always wanted to. Wish I could hold a finger on my picking hand still and be able to use index on the harmonics. Interesting. Yeah. I speak about this openly because obviously I'm a guitarist, 17 years, is hands are everything. Hands are in many rights, these are like powerful, incredible tools that, for one, I'm an advocate, like, I've been a guitarist again, 17 years. I don't experience hand pain ever, fortunately. I've rarely experienced really any pain in my body. I'm also an athlete. You know, I'm a calisthenic, strength training, martial artist, athlete, right? I train many different disciplines. I'm also a dancer, right? I'm a tutter. I do popping, locking, liquid, waving, whatever, right? Animation. But the idea is, what I'm saying is, I train my hands. My hands are like the forefront of my life. I'm basically doing physiotherapy alongside various very powerful ways of training my hand strength. So, for one, what I'm saying is, there's probably more you can do to train your hands. Now, I don't know your demographic, your age group. I don't know the pain that you've inflicted or you experience your hands, but brother, there probably is a vast array of things that you can do to strengthen your hands. Now, obviously, the most incredible or the most important and most effective way to alleviate pain is preventative care. You know, I've been training my hands for like 16 years. Ever since I've really taken a guitar playing experience seriously, I've been training my hands unconsciously. Like this is a lifelong endeavor for me. But yeah, it's like it takes, if you want to really honor your hands, you got to honor them and they will honor you back. You know, and I'm also an advocate of acupressure. I don't know if you're familiar. Acupressure is something that I use often, and I made a video about it, but I wasn't sure if it was like, really the video I wanted to promote. But acupressure is like basically a mat that has plastic spikes that you lean into that creates like basically acupressure points. It's not acupuncture, but it's acupressure. And you can place this on your hands, your wrists, on your back, and it's actually really effective, depending on, again, the pain you have. But yeah, I've heard Marines eat crayons. Damn. I'm learning a whole lot today about crayons, bro. How did you practice one-handed harmonics? I mean, you mean like these, right? Like, these are known as artificial pinch harmonics. Yeah, one-handed harmonics. It's basically, I have videos, actually, if you go check out my YouTube shorts. I have a couple videos where I explain exactly how to do this. But basically, I learned Andy McKee, his song, Rylin. He plays a lot of, that's where I first saw the technique. You know, he was doing a song, he was an alternate tuning, and he's playing, hammer-ons with one hand, and then he's doing harmonics, like, with the other. And he's like an alternate tuning. But the idea is, artificial pinch harmonics are actually not that hard. You literally are just placing your finger, you place your pointer, as I do. You can use any finger, but I use my pointer, right where the fret ends. So if we're on the 12th natural harmonic, right on this point, between the 12th and where the 13 begins, where the 12th ends. And I'm placing my thumb exactly 2 frets upwards. You can do whatever you want, but that's where I find it's comfortable. And I'm striking this string as I'm lifting. So I'm striking with my thumb, and you need a thumbnail. That's the thing, is you cannot do artificial harmonics, one-hand harmonics, without a thumbnail pick. I sometimes use 3D printed picks, but you need a thumbnail. You have to. And you basically are striking this, again, pointer finger, it's touching the fret, it's lightly pressing like you would a harmonic, and you're striking and lifting it. And that's the idea, is you can do that, and once you apply that, that's a natural harmonic, artificial pinch harmonic. You can do that everywhere. I can go artificially. I can create now harmonics everywhere, based on where I'm targeting a harmonic. I can create artificial harmonics in every single fret, on every single string. But that being said, artificial pinch harmonics, they're tricky. That's probably one of the hardest things I've ever approached as a guitarist, is artificial pinch harmonics are tricky because you have to eyeball it every single time. You're not hitting a fret necessarily. You're hitting like a spot that's not registered on the guitar, and you got to eyeball it every single time. You basically have to train your muscle memory in a fraction of a second to be like, okay, 12 frets up, okay, 17 frets up, okay, 5 up from there, and you got to find it. And if you're not hitting it right, then it doesn't make a proper sound. But yeah, so basically finding it. Where did you learn to do one-handed harmonics? Andy McKee. I taught it myself. I'll be honest. Andy McKee, Ryelin. Like, I'll type it in here. Beautiful song. This is who I learned this from in this song. But legitimately, that's the song where I first learned artificial harmonics. Not an easy song. I don't recommend learning the whole song because it takes months, but that's where I learned artificial pinch harmonics. And from there, I just taught myself it. I'll be honest, nobody I found taught any of this. Like, you won't find many like tutorials on how to learn harmonics. That's also why I create content about it, because I had to teach myself. This took probably 5-6 years of constantly trying to integrate writing compositional ideas. But yeah, harmonics, bro. What's good? Hello, welcome, Kim. I'm like botching my words, but welcome to this live stream. Magic. Whoa. That's weird, bro. I keep getting these buzzes. Might be this. I know a chord of mine I've recently replaced, but it might be I need to get another chord. I was wondering how you practiced it. Yeah. They're not called artificial. They're artificial when they are, yes. Yeah. Interesting. Let me flip this on again. It's kind of glitching out. But yeah, no, the artificial ones are yes. You're probably right. I was probably lumping them together when I was talking about them. But artificial are when you are creating them from an artificial point. So if I'm, say, on this 7th fret here, and I'm targeting the harmonic 12 frets up, 12 frets up from the 8th fret, 12 frets up from the 9th fret, these are artificial harmonics. That's how I learned them, unless I've somehow created the wrong terminology. But I don't think so. The natural are, yeah, these are natural pinch harmonics. I mean, bro, I'll be honest, they're not easy. They're not easy when you first start. But again, they become a world easier when you have the correct thumb pick. You need to have the thumbnail, at least to some degree. This is probably the minimal. I sometimes grow my thumbnail out like triple that or double that because it becomes even easier. But if you have a thumbnail and you just literally, again, it's genuinely as simple as you're creating the pressure point. It's very gentle. You're pressing your pointer finger. You can use other fingers, but I use my pointer right where you hit the natural harmonic. And then you're putting your thumb, as I do it, 2 frets over, just a balanced strike. You strike it and then you lift it. It's not, it takes time to get the timing down, just like if you're to do like bell harmonics. But it's a very worthy pursuit, yeah. Wouldn't that be called a minor, not a major? Let's see. I have trouble striking and holding my finger in the right place at the same time on the same hand. Interesting. I suppose that makes sense. It requires some finger control. Like, again, for me, I've said this thing, I'm also a tutter. I'm a finger tutter. So I have a lot of muscle control. Like, I can do like this. Like, I do like controlled hand movements. It's for dance. But I do like, it's like there's a lot, it will require, like if you're going to do bar chords, to some degree, I have tiny hands. But I can achieve like easily, like, stretched out bar chords. And it just comes down to just training your fingers, training the fine-tuned muscle memory in your hands. But I don't think that's even that important. You don't need to get this level of range of motion. But surely, just to achieve like, a nice clean... It's all about timing, I would say, and of course the pic or the thumbnail there. I've heard of Andy. I do know Tommy Emmanuel. Yeah, not very well, but Andy, yeah, he's like, in many rights, Andy McKee is one of the couple guitarists that's like grown my style. He's the one that my style is basically birthed from. You know, I do various things that's a little different, but thank you. Thank you, FC. Yeah. So wouldn't that be called a minor, not a major? Interesting. Minor, not a major. Yeah, something like that. Gang signs. Something like that. I don't think there's gang signs going on here, but yeah, dance, hand signs, Naruto, jutsu symbols, sign language, whatever you want to call it, bro. Fingers are expressive. Sending hate from Canada. Wow. I don't know how to say that, bro. You're not Canadian, because I'm Canadian too. So sending love to you from Canada. Yeah, honestly, not too hard, I would say. Like, it definitely takes time, but you can get them. You can get them down, really. And I think, for me, again, damn, how's that keep happening? Dang. I think it's this chord, bro. Yeah. Why would I do that, though? That's crazy. Wow. Well, I think we're probably gonna, let's see, 2:30. Yeah, I have some plans pretty soon, so I feel like I'm probably going to, in the next like 5 minutes, well, put a close to this live stream for the meantime. It's been fun, but I gotta make sure I organize my day effectively. Whoa, whoa. Damn, it keeps just clipping out. That's crazy. We'll figure out what's going on with that, but yeah. I'm in British Columbia, my man. Yeah. British Columbia, Canada. It's so weird seeing myself on another screen. There I am. Nice, we're at 1.13. Nice. Got a nice boost. Let's see. 6. So, whoa, we're at 1313 subscribers. That's pretty dope. That seems pretty cool. Wow, yeah, this stream is definitely nice. We're at like 2.5k views. That's not bad. Farming those watch hours. Yeah, not good luck though with that. Honestly, bro, it's like I swear it's a simple. The pinch harmonic. It's all about timing. Like there's not much. I'm not putting much tension, because harmonics. That's part of the fun of them. Is they're gentle, right? You know, it's just like when you play harmonic on an electric guitar, right? You're playing like a squealy or doing like crazy harmonics. It's all about nuances. It's all about being gentle. You're not trying to like do a crazy just like a strike. That would fail. It's like you want to gently, just caressing, finding the perfect timing. Even then, like the moment I try to almost like rush it or create a different incorrect technique, you lose the essence of it. Yeah, bro. Yeah, British Columbia, you know, beautiful British Columbia as they sometimes call it, on our license plates for some reason. all the trees. Yeah, I think we'll put a end to the stream, but we'll just read. Let's read something. Joe Dispenza, maybe? No. These dream philosophy books, they get so deep. Like, they just deep dive into stuff. Interesting. I like this. So, from the unconventional perspective, seeing things as illusionary is the natural way of seeing. So, we've been innocently trained to see the world in a non-lucid way, perceiving everything dualistically, as solid, as lasting, and as independent. With the more absolute approach to daytime lucidity, the only thing you have to do is see the world as illusionary in your open mind and relax. The natural state of your mind is already lucid, and when you relax into this lucid mind, the world appears like a dream. I like that. That's perfect. Page 68. Is it warming up there too? Yeah, it's getting sunnier. It's a little cold still, but yeah, for those of you chiming in, so that book is about lucid dreaming, right? It's about, in the simplest right, the idea is we as humans are programmed to sort of see the world in a non-lucid way. It's almost like a lot of the ancient lucid dreamers, like Tibetan Buddhists and the Toltec Spanish, tribes, believe that lucidity, that is experiencing lucid dreams, is a natural state of being. The dream yogis, they believe that when we are seeing the world in such a way, when our philosophy and our philosophical context of the world is aligned in such a way, we naturally just enter lucid dreams. Like, it's a visionary state we naturally are supposed to enter. But the idea is, the reason why a lot of us do not do this is because in our everyday lives, we basically see and experience the world in a non-lucid way. We're confirming non-lucidity. We look at the world around us and we don't question it. We don't peer deeper. We don't desire to question the things we see. And kind of what they're just expressing in this book is, the world is illusionary. If we don't understand that the world is a dreamlike endeavor, the world is very illusionary. It's not formed, it's formless. It's this illusionary construct that a lot of us think is solid. We think it's everlasting. We don't actually even comprehend or process how dreamlike this reality is. And a lot of lucid dreaming practice is actually just waking up from that. It's returning to the idea that, wait a second, is there something deeper? Is there a way to see how illusionary this world is? See that this is a dream, acknowledge it as such, and then allow ourselves to be more present and conscious of what it means to be lucid, to see through the illusions of things in our waking world, the things around us, in every context. And when you do that more, not only are you free, you see the world for what it is with freedom and clarity, it also allows you to actually experience your dream world this way. You begin to see, the world around you in your dream world with clarity, with lucidity. You can see through the illusions. You can see through almost like the unconscious stupor that you may be in, not questioning, not challenging, not understanding what's going on in your world. And that's where, when you're in a dream, it's not even a negative or positive. We live in a dream and we never question what's going on in a dream. More than not, a lot of us, you sit there and you have a dream, most outlandish, bizarre things can happen. We never sit there and think about, like, what's going on here? Is this, we don't observe, we don't really freely think and discern and decipher what's going on in our dreams. But yeah, it's like, the reason for a lot of why we don't do that in our dreams is we also just don't do this in our waking world. We never sit there and question the illusionary nature of our dream or of our waking world. So yeah, food for thought. Might make sense, might not make sense, I don't know. To me, it makes sense. Yeah. Take care. Appreciate you, dog. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chiming in. Yeah, if you guys resonate with this channel, if you resonate with this content, I teach guitar and I do meditative sound journeys, among various things. And yeah, feel free to chime in. You can dream while awake. That you can. Not an easy experience, but we do have the ability to enter visionary states and altered states awake in the waking world. It really is like, this is what humans are meant to do, actually, strangely enough. But yeah, it's a bizarre reality, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful how much autonomy we actually have. Anyways, thank you so much for chiming in. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Honor yourself and honor each other. Much love. Bless. Ashe.